And also from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about the second round and do a little second round recap of the NBA playoffs, and also maybe a little bit of a prediction for the conference finals, maybe talk about the NBA finals just a tad bit, and also maybe the future of the NBA podcast, which the second video will be out on Wednesday. Wednesday will be number 2, part 2, episode 2 of the podcast that I tried to do last week, which you guys seem to really enjoy. So with that being said, make sure you guys like the video. If you do like the video, you guys know liking the video is the best thing you can do for this video, for the channel, for myself, and also obviously subscribe to the channel for all the randomness that I post on this channel as well. And yeah, I guess comment down below maybe how you felt about the conference finals. How do you feel about the competitive teams that are still in the NBA playoffs? Or maybe even, again, new picks for your own NBA finals matchup or even finals winners. And maybe also comment down below, actually this is a major one, comment down below maybe some topics to talk about in Wednesday's NBA podcast video. So yeah, with that being said, let us get started. Alright, so kind of like how we did our last video, yes, I did do a recap on the first round. Now doing a recap on the second round. We're going to be going, I guess, series by series really quickly, and just seeing the competitors, how they won, and how they move on, and then maybe going back and then talking about them more specifically series by series. So just going in order from how I have them right now, we had the 1-seeded Miami Heat taking on the 4-seeded Philadelphia 76ers, Miami winning that series 4-2. We had the 3-seeded Milwaukee Bucks taking on the 2-seeded Boston Celtics, and Boston winning in Game 7. Then we had in the Western Conference, Phoenix Suns taking on the Dallas Mavericks. They're the 4 seed, Phoenix was the 1 seed. Dallas winning that series in 7 games. Man. Then you had the 3-seeded Golden State Warriors taking on the 2-seeded Memphis Grizzlies, and the Golden State Warriors winning out in 6 games. So that does mean the 1-seeded Miami Heat will face the 2-seeded Boston Celtics, and the 4-seeded Dallas Mavericks, sort of Cinderella team you could even call them, go up against the 3-seeded Golden State Warriors in their respective conference finals. Wow, Heat, Boston. That's going to be crazy competitive. So many great matchups on the wing with Jimmy and Tatum, and the scoring ability of Tyler Hero and Jaylen Brown on the other side with Boston. Oh my goodness. And then for Dallas and Golden State, you really have a big test for Luka Doncic, who's going to have to go up against, man, just one of the greats of this era, and Steph Curry and that crazy team. It's going to take a big showing out from Luka to see, I guess, what more can he do. This team is full of just really hard go-get-em type of players, and I'm really excited to see how that team shows up, but also pretty excited to see more Golden State Warrior basketball, which is always fun to watch. But very quickly going back to, again, the second round, this is a recap video, after all. The Miami Heat and the 76ers series. Miami actually outscored the 76ers by 10 points throughout the entire series, also almost doing the same thing by 10 rebounds on the boards throughout the series as well. Jimmy Butler actually led the series in scoring. He averaged throughout the entire series 27.5 points per game. Crazy. Nearly 2 steals as well, almost 6 assists, 8 rebounds. Jimmy Butler was definitely the biggest difference maker. Obviously him playing against one of his former teams, and I guess technically an organization. He has even spoken out saying he maybe wishes he was still on. Obviously playing alongside a big star like Joel Embiid, he probably would have loved for that to happen, but he's still having great success in Miami, which I'm sure he loves being a Miami Heat player. And after that, some other players on the Heat, Bam Adebayo averaged about 17, Tyler Hero averaged about 15, and then the others of the Miami Heat, like Max Strus, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, averaged about 11 points, Ray Oladipo 10 points, Peter Tucker about 10 points. The others at Miami getting the job done as well, which is pretty nice. Then for the 76ers, Tyrese Maxey actually led the team in scoring. Obviously, the biggest story of this sort of series was, you probably could have guessed it, the health of Joel Embiid. And man, that's just going to be the legacy, the storyline, the headline of his career is injuries. And that's really sad to think about, obviously him being such a great player. And, you know, it just the cards always don't fold in his favor. And then he also didn't even win the MVP this year, which, man, is not a good time to beat Joel Embiid, but still had a very successful season. Tyrese Maxey, who led the lead in scoring, like I said, led the team in scoring, averaged 20 points. Joel Embiid was 19.8, so right under him. And then James Harden averaged 18 points, which again, without Joel Embiid, you would think that James Harden would have been that guy to sort of, you know, pick it up a little bit, but we did not see even a fraction of sort of a Houston Rockets James Harden, even though he didn't even need to be a Houston Rockets James Harden. He could have been a Nets last season James Harden type of player. But man, he has just changed his game so much to where he looks like a completely different player than what he did look like a year and a half ago. And obviously when he's playing on his own team, that doesn't work, obviously. But anyways, yeah, so that series was a good one. It could have been a lot closer, like a game 7, but again, like, man, that was just very unlucky, you could say, from the 76ers, because I know in game 6 they didn't really put up, you know, the greatest sort of fight to end their season on, and obviously the Philly fans were booing them because of that. So I mean, it was a good series, but obviously if Embiid was healthy, who knows what could have happened. But very, very big congratulations to the Miami Heat. Then the one that just ended yesterday, as you guys are watching this video, Milwaukee, Boston, Game 7, written to be one of the best Game 7s in playoff history. It could have been, but it didn't end up being that way. It definitely looked like, you know, Giannis pretty much just surviving out there, trying to do his best, and you could probably tell. I don't want to say he looked like he was gassed out or anything, but Giannis definitely looked like he was just a great, amazing player with a bunch of just solid NBA players. And, you know, Drew Holiday wasn't really all there their final game. Obviously not having Chris Middleton on that team either was very, very, very rough on that team as well. So, like, man, that was rough to watch, honestly. And the Celtics were just, holy cow. I mean, I don't really like to compare sort of teams in different years, but like this Celtic team kind of reminds me of the 2020 Miami Heat, not because of, you know, players or record-wise or anything like that, but they are just playing their best basketball at the right point in time in the season, and it's the playoffs. It's making their way into the finals. It's them trying their best, and they're peaking right now, which is the perfect time to peak. It's the perfect time to really play your best basketball, and they're doing it very well, just like how the 2020 Miami Heat made it all the way to the finals. I think the Celtic team definitely has that potential as well, and the way Jayson Tatum is playing, the way, you know, the others on this team, like obviously Grant Williams had the game of his life. I think he did outscore Giannis in that game 7 as well. Man, it's a tough out against the Miami Heat next series to see who goes to the finals. And obviously, like I just said, the Miami Heat already made the finals already. This Boston Celtics team finally in there, up and ups now. They're finally not just that young team with a lot of young stars. It's their year. They're ready to win, and that's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy series. Let's see, actually, Jayson Tatum in their series against the Bucks averaged 28 points. Jaylen Brown averaged 22. Marcus Smart 14. Al Horford 13. Grant Williams actually averaged 11 points per game, which is pretty surprising. And hopefully now that Robert Williams maybe has also had a couple games off, and maybe just a little bit more separation from that injury that he had, can maybe be closer to a normal Robert Williams during this series, because against Bam Adebayo, that's going to be rough on him. Giannis in the series averaged 34 points per game, a block, a steal, 7 assists, and 15 rebounds. That is insanity, not gonna lie. Next best player, Drew Holiday, which it is kind of upsetting to hear all of the Drew Holiday slander. I've been saying Drew Holiday is one of my favorite, most underrated players in the NBA, and it kind of sucks that people are just calling him, you know, another scrub on the team, a player that may not even need to be on the team next season. Very sad to be seeing those comments, because I love Drew Holiday. He averaged 21 points per game, best scoring option. Pat Connaughton with 10 points. That is insanity. And it took him all the way to Game 7. That just shows you how great Giannis is as a player. We know this, no doubt. Going on to the Western Conference now with, let's do Golden State and Memphis first, since that series ended quite a bit ago. Golden State again won 4-2, and it was a series I thought that could have gone pretty long, against 6 or 7, and I actually thought it would go maybe in a little bit earlier than that, just because again the Timberwolves Memphis Grizzlies series left kind of a bad taste in my mouth for the Memphis Grizzlies, but they definitely balled out and was pretty close. But obviously the Warriors are the Golden State Warriors. Ja Morant in the series averaged 38 points per game. Oh my God. Ja Morant averaged 38 points per game in their series. I didn't even remember that. Also 3 steals, 8 turnovers, 7 rebounds. Man, Ja Morant was an animal on that team. And then for the Golden State Warriors, you had Steph Curry averaging 26 points, Klay Thompson averaging about 19, Jordan Poole averaging about 18, 19 as well. It was pretty even, but obviously when it comes to, team play, coaching schemes, just veteran leadership, championship pedigree, I mean, a team like the Golden State Warriors is just going to be a little bit more in their grind set, you could say, in order to beat another team in a 7-game series, and Memphis is just not there yet. I think this run that they had this season is just catapulting them into the direction that they need to be. And next season, man, oh my goodness, they could be the 1 seed. They can make it to the NBA Finals. It definitely just depends on, keeping the team together, keeping that same sort of hunger that they've had this season, which I'm obviously sure they are going to have for sure. And, man, I'm excited to see them next season as well. But yeah, we have the Golden State Warriors going up against the Dallas Mavericks, who in their series, have to apologize to Dallas Maverick fans, because I counted them out. As you guys know, at the start of the NBA playoffs many weeks ago, I came out with a video predicting the NBA Finals, and I thought the Suns were going to win the title. Not only because they were the best record team or this or that, I just thought their team was playing amazing the entire season. I didn't see any hiccups. They have a leader in Chris Paul, a go-to scorer in Devin Booker, a big man in Ayton, great defense with Drake Crowder and Mikal Bridges, a capable bench, the coach of the year. It just seems like everything was just perfectly in tune. And then the Pelicans series happened, and they looked beatable. But I still, I didn't want to backtrack. I still picked them to win the title. And then they lose to the Dallas Mavericks, who you could say just have Luka Doncic, but that's not really the case anymore, with Jalen Brunson sort of arriving in his role, now looking like a bona fide stud, going to be making some big bucks this next upcoming NBA season. Also probably going to be starting for this team as well. And then Spencer Dinwiddie has just the game of his life in Game 7, and I kind of don't really want to talk about Game 7 a lot, because I'm sure you've probably heard enough if you've been watching, ESPN or just on Twitter a lot. Game 7 was rough for Phoenix, and they were booing. They left during the 3rd quarter. Fans did, that's what I meant to say, and there was just nothing. This Phoenix Suns team was all, boastful, chit-chatty. I don't want to say trash-talky, but they talk their talk, and then they walk their walk, and then when push came to shove in Game 7, they weren't there. I don't want to say they weren't competitive, but definitely you can see them fizzing out a lot. And then by the time, again, halftime even started, they looked like they didn't even want to be there anymore. Devin Booker this series averaged 23 points and 5 assists. DeAndre Ayton averaged 16 points and 8 rebounds. Also a player that has a big question mark on him. Maybe we'll talk about him during the podcast video, because Ayton now has a humongous question mark on whether the Suns are going to give him that max contract, because if the Suns aren't, man, I bet the Hornets will. I bet the Knicks will throw a contract at him. There are a handful of teams that are going to give Ayton the bag. Will the Suns react? We're going to have to find out. And then also Chris Paul, who is definitely injured. I don't know if it's ever been announced or he's came out to even say that, but since maybe about Game 2, he has not looked good at all. He averaged 13 points this series and 5 assist, which again, that for Chris Paul is a very big telltale, because that's his game, is facilitating, and he wasn't even really doing that on a big level either. So the Suns just fizzled. They fizzled out at the wrong time. Again, sort of the opposite of the Boston Celtics, where the Suns, you could have said, peaked maybe too early, and you see the Boston Celtics now peaking at the right time. You can sort of see that difference. And then for the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic averaged 33 points on the series, 7 assists, and 9.9 rebounds. Super crazy. Jalen Brunson averaging 20. Dinwiddie only averaging 11 points, but again, that Game 7 performance, man, that is just immaculate basketball from Spencer Dinwiddie, which people forget, by the way, was arguably the best player on a playoff team in Brooklyn. You could probably argue also D'Angelo Russell, but like, hey, Spencer Dinwiddie wasn't a scrub. He never has been. He's always been a super solid player, so he's going to be able to have these types of games every once in a while, which is super cool. So now we're on to the, I guess, prediction part of the video, the conference finals, Heat, Celtics. I have no idea. Obviously, with the perimeter defensive play of the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler and all their guys, and then you have also, Jayson Tatum and their guys who can play really good defense. It's going to be a scrappy battle for sure. The only thing I would be concerned about for the Miami Heat is just the offensive firepower that Boston Celtics have with, obviously, again, Jayson Tatum, who's playing like the MVP of the playoffs this season. You could probably obviously argue Luka Doncic right now too, or even Giannis, of course, but man, Jayson Tatum is on a tear. Jaylen Brown's really stepping into that Robin role very well, and the rest of the guys like Al Horford has had big games. Marcus Smart in his defense, even Grant Williams having great games. It's going to be tough to sort of slow those guys down, but if they can, obviously Miami has that capability, and obviously having a great coach like Eric Spoelstra can make up good game plans for that. And then again, for the Miami Heat, they have Bam Adebayo. Their interior game should be very good. Jimmy Butler should have a great series as well. It's just going to be really, really close. Who would I predict to win, though? I mean, can you really bet against this Boston Celtics team right now? I would say no. So I think I'm going to pick the Celtics to win the series, but I do love Jimmy Butler. You guys know he's also one of my favorite players in the NBA, and seeing him reach into the NBA Finals would be amazing, but I would not bet against this super red-hot, fiery Boston Celtics team right now. So I'm going to pick the Celtics, even though I might jinx them. I'll knock on wood just in case. Maybe I hope I'm wrong. I don't know. I do love Jimmy Butler, but this Celtics team is playing at its best right now, so you can't really bet against it. And then for the Western Conference, the Dallas Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors, who, man, could you imagine the Dallas Mavericks making the NBA Finals this year? That would be crazy. That'd be the biggest sort of what the heck happened this season could have. But I, again, gonna go with my sort of analytic, sort of picking safe mind, and I'm gonna pick the Golden State Warriors. They're just obviously the more NBA championship ready team. This might be, in a way, maybe the last hurrah, the last great shot the Warriors gonna have with a prime Steph Curry, a healthy Klay Thompson, Draymond Green still where he is in his career, still a very capable player. This might be their best shot at winning a title, and I think they're obviously not going to get younger. They do have young players, obviously, Jordan Poole and Kuminga and Wiseman, but still, I think this year is going to be maybe one of their last years. Maybe next season they'll have another great shot at it, but this is a really good shot for them, so I'm going to be picking the Warriors to win. I think it could go 6. I think the Heat and Boston series also goes 6 games. I think these are both 6-game series, but I do believe maybe the Heat and Celtic one would go further. Again, it really just depends on A, how much longer can Luka keep this up, and B, how much longer can the others on the Mavericks keep this up. If they play obviously like they did, last series, they'll be fine, but that's hard to do against another team with a whole another different, set of players, a whole different sort of game plan for another 7-game series. It's gonna take a toll on all those players, so again, I'm just gonna be picking the Warriors on that, and then that would mean a Warrior-Celtic NBA Finals, which, wow, that's crazy. If I could throw a prediction out right now, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll leave that on a little bit of a cliffhanger, because obviously I'm going to be making an NBA Finals video, so if that does happen, I don't want to give away my thought process too much, because another video will be coming out on that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I just want to do a quick little recap on the second round of the playoffs, going into the conference finals, and holy cow. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be really tuned in to watch these sort of defensive scheming on these two stars right now with Jayson Tatum and Luka Doncic, and how the other teams, the Miami Heat and the Golden State Warriors, sort of try to I don't want to say capture, but at least put a bubble around these stars who are just playing absolutely out of their mind right now. So I'm going to be really excited to see about that. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in on Wednesday for the NBA podcast. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about the playoffs. I'm definitely going to be talking about the NBA draft lottery. The draft lottery is on Tuesday, so Wednesday we'll be talking about the draft and the draft order. It's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure you don't miss out. Make sure you like the video. I guess comment down below maybe your MVP of the playoffs, how these teams are doing, how to maybe fix some of the teams that are out of the playoffs. And again, talking about the podcast, if you have any sort of ideas to what to talk about, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I think that's everything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little update, and I'll see you guys in my next video very, 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 very soon.